Hello, hello. Welcome to day 1313 of Connecting the Thoughts. Code for today is Understanding Silence is an Art. We are talking about silence today. We're talking about that fact that not everybody can understand silence. So I think understanding silence is an art. Just wondering, are you the artist? Or do you know what colors to use? Or are you the one who likes to admire it from a distance? More on this on the other side of the show. Real tag a friend who needs to receive this message. And if you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe to the YouTube channel because here's where I post daily videos on the little things that make life big. I'll quickly grab myself a sip of water while you watch the show reel. Thank you for joining. Welcome back to the conversation on day 1313 of Connecting the Thoughts. Code for today is Understanding Silence is an Art. And what do I mean by this? Well, when someone is silent, are you able to understand what they're saying? When you have to observe silence, do you understand when that moment comes? I think it takes a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of understanding of life itself to figure out that when are those moments that you can make do with silence. You don't always have to speak out. You don't always have to say what your opinion is. Sometimes holding the space with silence is the key. And this can work beautifully in the coaching space. This can work beautifully in the speaking space. And this can work so beautifully in relationships too. Like I said, you don't always have to put things into words. Sometimes just holding space with silence is the key. And sometimes doing things is the key. The communication happens through so many different ways. It doesn't always have to be through words. Communication happens through the tone of your voice. Communication happens through the way you look. Communication happens through the way you smile. Communication happens in what you put out there in terms of the vibe you're giving to the other person, how comfortable you're making them feel, how uncomfortable you make them feel. That presence that you might have or the indifference you might show. There's so many ways of communicating. So you don't have to always depend on words and conversations. As I said, sometimes it can just be a beautiful silence between the two of you, and you are doing something, are putting into action a process so that a person knows where you're coming from. So, whether it is anger that you want to portray, whether it is love that you want to portray, whether it is gratitude that you want to show, whether it's grief and loss that you want to share with someone, all of these can be expressed in silence. And to understand silence is an art. And to understand this art, you have to be fully present with the person. It's almost like going to an art gallery and rushing through the paintings, not being present over there. You may walk from one door to the next. You might walk into the museum and walk out and not be touched by art at all. You could walk through and just walk through with so much going on in your head and just walk through. However, if you take a moment to pause before each masterpiece, if you take a moment to listen, to look, to absorb, to receive, you'll understand that each painting is speaking to you from a place of silence. So these are my thoughts on silence. These are my thoughts on art. These are my thoughts on understanding what silence can mean. It definitely is an art because not many of us have the ability to do it. Sometimes, and I've been there, sometimes when friends go silent, sometimes when some people are, too busy in their own stuff, I tend to go knocking on doors and asking, "What's going on? Are you okay? Or can I do something for you?" I've been that impatient person, and it's caused more damage than good for me. So be mindful of when someone needs that space. Be mindful of when you need to step away and give them that room of silence and say, okay, you need the silence, you need your own time, you need your own space. I get you. I'm going to step aside. So, understanding silence as an art, not everybody gets it. If you are one among the few who does, then great, good for you. But if you aren't, then build that taste for silence, build that ability to appreciate silence, build that ability to understand what's going on when you need to observe silence or you need to respect silence that you are being given from another person. Do not make it indifferent. Do not have an indifferent attitude, but be mindful, be aware that yes, if someone's speaking to you in silence, then they definitely have a lot to say. These are my thoughts, and if this has been of value to you, please write in comments saying I am listening. It takes a different kind of a person to be able to listen to silence and understand what's being said. So thank you for tuning in, and tag a friend if you feel someone could take value from this. Please tag a friend who needs to receive this message. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And until tomorrow, keep smiling, keep shining, stay safe, and thank you for connecting the thoughts with me. Thank you so much.